So I'm sitting in my house in Hillsborough, North Carolina, getting ready to pack up and leave, or I am in the middle of packing up. Should be finishing instead of sharing this story, but my leg's been hurting all day, and it's loosely connected to this house and to Hillsborough, to the grid points, node points that it connects to in the land, and also the shelter it's provided me while I've been here the past year. And part of my completion is to share a little bit of its story. So this house is old. They don't know how old it is because it was built before there were records. I intuitively was guided here. When I toured the house, I could feel its need to be cleared. After I moved in, I was being pushed really heavily by my guides, by my intuition to clear. I was busy unpacking, moving. So I did light clearing for a few days. And then I was meditating on my own, doing my own journeys. And there was a spirit deciding to tag along in these journeys. And she wasn't threatening. She was lovely. Her name was Meg. Okay, so Meg, trying to show me something. Meg was a woman who didn't die exactly near this house, but close to where I live. Her energy, her echo, was trapped here due to something she showed me that the Ku Klux Klan did decades ago. If you're familiar, if you've ever seen sometimes how the Ku Klux Klan works, honestly, us witches know what they're doing, right? It's very ritualistic, it's very energetic, harnessing, whether they know that or not. And they were committing hate crimes in this area in a ritualistic way that was creating an inverted energy field, a vortex on the grid nodes here near this house that was keeping echoes, spirits, however you want to look at them, trapped here. So we did some clearing around that. I also saw some things under the house, including an elemental toxic poisoned dragon egg, which thankfully one of my friends who works really closely with dragons had one of her dragons come and get it. That night, after I did that clearing, I had a dream, and I hadn't spent much time in Hillsborough before moving here. I had a dream about this yearly activity that they would have in Hillsborough called Burning of the Corpses. In my dream, because my mind filters it to make it seem a little cartoonish, it was around Halloween, and they were burning life-size dolls in front of this big white house. Now, like I said, hadn't spent much time in Hillsborough. I went on a walk the next day, and I walked farther than I had before. So in Hillsborough, there's a river walk by the Eno River. And I walked down, I'm on the west side of town, so I walked down to the river and through the river walk towards the east side of town, the east side of the main street. And there, on Burnside Avenue, I kid you not, is the big white house from my dream. And that home, the house from my dream, was built in 1794 in a different location in Hillsborough. And then 100 years later, bought by a white supremacist. At some point, it was moved to Burnside Avenue. The home is a documented haunted house. There's a well-known article on it when I was having my own experiences with the house that I don't live in. I actually wrote to the author of that article, who kind of encouraged me to leave it alone. The house in Hillsborough that I'm talking about from my dream, I haven't investigated it very much, but that night after seeing it, when I was thinking about it in a relaxed state, I accidentally called spirits from that home to me to be crossed over or to be released from those points. But that house, like here, had an energetic disruption that was creating the right environment for what we would experience as hauntings. Part of that being moving the house to a different location ruptured its original energetic intention and energy field. Hillsborough is also a very energetic place, a very ancestral place. Native American tribes, lots of wildlife, lots of elemental energy as well. But the witches still rang. Let's see why they were so present here. What we perceive as witches now would not have been called that then. Native American women, passing white women, women who understood herbs, the ley lines, the folk tradition, were threatened by settlers, colonialists, and Freemasons, agriculturists, and farmers who did not appreciate their tending of the land, their stories, their care. So they did not call themselves witches. They tended the land, the energy, the nodes. They tended the ways of the ancestors, even past tribal affiliations. They were threatened, seen as a threat, because more what was it? More money, more lies, more land. So while these were not witch trials, as we've been told of them, which you will hear North Carolina did not have witch trials. They were either uprooted, desecrated, harmed, raped, killed, burned. The land here is a wheel intersecting at the Eno to different points, different memories encoded in the land, the rocks, the water. There were settlers, farmers, newcomers, whose work, whose perception of power felt limited by theirs. And so it was taken from them. Sorry, I just got a number. There's a Native American man I can see in my mind's eye. And he wants to share, to see, for us to see. So he's showing me him with a non-native woman, with a white woman. And he's showing me the similarities in the way, Druidic. He's showing me the similarities in the way that he and her tended the land. She showed him different ways, and he showed her other ways. But they were the same cycles through different spaces, the same herbs and different soils. So he's showing me a connection between the Native American traditions and land tending to European traditions that were here earlier. And then later, through different structures, different settlers, different power dynamics, this connection, this knowledge, this wisdom, even of the white settlers, the Druidic folk medicine knowledge of European origin and Native American origin, and Black as well, was not welcome here. So he's showing me this wheel, the ley lines, the knot that's created at the Eno, intersecting the river, harnesses energy, creates energy, shares energy, but the suppression of how to care for it was lost. How to flow the energy, how to move the energy in right relationship was fractured. And now I'm just seeing plant herbs growing out of the ground, and it's like, learn what nature provided in this location. Learn what grew here. Learn how the energy flows, how to repair it and reconnect it back to its own intention, its origin point, not as in the origin point, but the origin point of that land.